Hello, I'm Sanna Forsman and I'm working as a lighting designer here in Finland in Granlund, which is a building services consulting company operating mainly here in Finland. I'm telling you today about official scope of works for a lighting design process that we have developed together with other lighting designers and the local Illuminating Engineering Society of Finland. This development project started already 4 or 5 years ago when we lighting designers here in Finland joined our forces together and established a lighting designers subgroup that is operating under the wings of the Illuminating Engineering Society of Finland. Their resources are acting as our backbone, and we organize meetings, visits, events, and also we are operating and developing these very important development projects. And one of the first and most important has been for the past years this development for scope of works for lighting designer and a lighting design process. We created an other action group that was involving many lighting designers here, so we were able to create a common understanding what we are looking after. This scope of works defines the process and different tasks for a successful lighting design project in a general level. And as a lighting design is a new profession here in Finland, we think that it's a very solid foundation for this emerging profession. When we started this project, many builders and clients were asking that now, do we need a lighting designer for every project? And we said that maybe you need, but of course you would benefit from a professional lighting designer most in architecturally challenging spaces like atriums, auditoriums, showrooms, building facades, or projects involving spaces with special user requirements such as hotels or cultural buildings. And of course in outdoor lighting and in architecturally or historically significant places such as churches or bridges or central squares of towns. And of course, a very important way for a lighting designer to create lighting concept plans, having commercials, interactive or artistic interests. After explaining the importance of a lighting designer, many of these other disciplines said that yes, of course, this is something where an expertise is needed, and our explanation of a lighting designer as a profession was accepted. This scope of works can be used in several different ways. It can be used for builders to help in a bidding process. It is helpful for designers to formulating offers for the builders. And of course, again, it's easy for the builders then to evaluate the offers that the designers have made, and also for creating a mutually rewarding contracts. And of course, it's a very important tool for education and a professional development and practice. We started this project already 5 years ago. And the kind of the trigger for the whole project was the general big multi-party development process in the Finnish building industry, who was starting an updating process for all of the scope of works for the main design disciplines. This means architects, construction engineers, mechanical and electrical engineers, as well as, of course, architects, interior architects, acoustics, landscape architects, etc. So we were studying what this big multi-party development project was developing, and we decided to join their consortium, and we created our first drafts based on those that work that the others had already made. And after doing this, we were accepted to join the consortium. Then, of course, a mutual development project between all these design disciplines was required. and several public evaluation rounds were carried out, and finally we were able to achieve a general consensus. And the publication of the scope of works was established in June 2012. The scope of works is divided in two sections. The first and very important part is the project information file. You define general information about the project into this information file, and also this is the first time where all the different design disciplines that are required for that certain project should be named and defined. Also in this information file, you create the project scope. So you create the scope of the different design disciplines, how much, what kind of things you are doing, and also the quality level of design methods, design analysis, calculations, and possible visualizations. And this is also very important tool also for the whole project management to evaluate and create the quality level of the designers or the talents that are required for each design discipline. And then the other section is the actual scope of works, which includes a cover page where you have just a very simple user guide and explanation of the main structure and ideas. And then we have the works, and all the different scope of works are divided in two sections, general tasks and then additional tasks that are required for the project. And for the scope of works, the client can, or the builder can choose that what kind of additional tasks are required for a project. And then we define the documents that should be created on a general level. And then some other supplements will be created in the near future. One of the big changes for the old established design scope of works for other design disciplines is this idea where all phases begin with the definition of design targets during that design phase. And then also all phases finish with an evaluation of design targets achieved during that phase, and then a mutual agreement how we should be continuing towards a new or to a defined direction. So this is established in all the scopes of works that were created for the different design disciplines. Here I'm presenting the old scope of works for created already in the 1990s, and of course this was not something that has been for the lighting design especially, but this was the old structure for the whole building industry. And on the left side is the 2012 creation, where we have many new design phases and even new names for these design phases. We start with the feasibility study, where the role of a lighting design is more as an assistive role. It's not a design phase yet. But also the importance of this phase is emphasized, because this is the very crucial time where the financial and temporal decisions are already made for different projects. In this design phase, definition of general design targets are already created. So we need to create the builder, or to survey and create the builder and user requirements, general lighting principles, and also the values of this project. Is it the architecture? Is it the sustainability, or something else? Already some preliminary cost estimates and building schedules are made or can be made during this design phase. Next phase is the concept design phase, and this is as important as the previous feasibility study phase, because lighting system and its use play a very significant role in the investment and also the life cycle costs during the whole life cycle of the building or the area that the lighting is used. In this phase, even more accurate lighting principles should be already established, and also doing survey on the building site or on the project, that what is the existing lighting systems, what is the existing regulations that concern lighting, and also the major design targets should be established, where general lighting conditions, environmental aspects, and even energy consumption issues of the lighting should be created. And once again, investment cost estimates and design schedule development is one part of this design phase. Of course, it means that lighting designers are participating in the whole of the investment cost and design schedule development. It is not only the responsibility of a lighting designer. And the next phase is kind of a new design phase. It's called design proposals, and the idea is that the client is really given a chance to be able to influence on the design targets. So we need to create a few different alternative design proposals that fulfill the design targets, so that the client sees that the design is not it's not an absolute. It is something that can be solved in many different ways. This phase needs communication and design collaboration, and based on that we create analyses, visualizations, calculations, and even simulations if required. These proposals include lighting principles, lighting system proposals, sketches, images, visualizations, and even preliminary luminaire proposals, and required plan and section drawings of the main spaces and solutions. And during this phase, the evaluation and selection of the best proposal for the next phase is very important, because this is the time when we decide that now we are going to a certain direction in the project. Based on the design proposals, one solution is selected, and schematic plans are made based on these ideas, and a viable design solution should be established for the project. And coordination of design solutions between all design disciplines should be carried out during this time at the latest. This is the time where it has to be collaborated and checked out that everything is in the same scope of the project. Documents that should be created include lighting system description, including lighting control strategy, luminaire layout for the main and important spaces, preliminary luminaire schedule, and other drawings that are required. And also after this phase, we need evaluation and approval of these plans before we can continue the design work. During these two phases, additional tasks may include very different ideas, such as works for assisting in the building permit applications, 3D lighting simulations, product development, mock-up installations, different type of calculations, and also material development for the environmental classification pre-study. That is a very popular thing to be done nowadays in the building construction business. And then we move to the detailed design phase, where there are actually two phases for the lighting designer and all the other design disciplines as well. There is a phase for material acquisition, and then a phase for the actual construction. And at the first stage of this phase, we create detailed designs, and in such a level that it is able to make contract with the contractors in that project. And then the other phase include the construction, the building, construction of the building. So it's more like a more traditional documents at this stage: lighting installation description, luminaire layout plans, and luminaire schedule. In these phases, there are a lot of additional tasks that are not required for every project. And this should be agreed during the contract that the designer makes with the client, that in what tasks lighting designer is participating in. And this can be very many different type of tasks. They can be plans for lighting systems to be dismounted, helping in the bidding process material for the client, doing once again mock-up installations, or participating in the environmental classification material development. And during constructions, if the design of the building is altered and new designs and plans need to be made, then we require design development. And for instance, detailed installation drawings. During construction, design tasks are mainly assistive general tasks. They are not anymore design tasks. And the general tasks of the construction phase can include lighting equipment approvals or on-site meetings. And additional tasks that are agreed separately can include things like technical inspections or participation in on-site works, which are very important for a successful lighting design. It means focusing of the luminaires, or testing of the lighting control system, or programming of the lighting control system. And these are very important things if you are striving after a successful lighting project. Now we have our building project already almost finished, and we are going for the commissioning and guarantee period. These tasks are defined as additional tasks, and they can include end user guidance or training for the lighting control system for the end user, or site inspections on delayed installations. Our building is ready, and the scope of works were now explained. The process of the whole scope of the works is on the brink of the big use in the industry. We would need the critical mass for the use so that we are able to understand it and get experiences and maybe do some development. We are hopefully getting the official printed layouts very soon. And at the moment, a web user interface is under development. My experiences of this development process that has been taken quite some time has been that lighting is not everything in the building industry, that we really need to cooperate with other design disciplines. And our decision to join the General Finnish Building Industry Consortium in their big development process was an effective way to proceed and get a lot of big consensus on the market. For this kind of a development process, you really require tolerance and cooperative skills, and also time. And hopefully, we were able to find that in our working group for this project. Now, currently in Finland, we have lighting design as an established profession with its own process and a general scope of works, and we are very happy about that.